Starting new track.
By the way, are we gonna during this? Are we gonna talk how right I was about my predictions for 2017?
Oh, we're doing a review of last year. Absolutely,
Because totally nailed it.
Yeah. What is our? I guess we should pull up the notes from last year. Hey, anybody have that?
I'm trying to find it.
It's funny because we really should have recorded that the week after Switch reveal or the Switch press. So some of our reviews were like everybody had a pricing one.
Mm-hmm.
And I was half right, if I remember right.
By the way, I finally have one of these.
Ooh.
I don't know how I feel about it.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Good.
It's one of my more favorite controllers.
I've been a handheld guy for so long, and I'm used to these.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. Episode 110. We said 2017 predictions and how wrong we were for 2016.
Yeah. So we did do a review last time. So yes, we absolutely will do it again. Boop. Okay. We have an official. Never mind. Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay. I'm gonna.
Wow.
Is it just me or is Zach choppy?
Yeah, he just turned it.
No, he's choppy.
Tomogato.
We just. Is everyone frozen?
What?
It is all you, buddy. Did you reboot your router yet? Oh, he's fully frozen now.
And we're streaming. So
what are you eating there, Marty?
So all 8 people are watching this.
Well, it's 13 degrees outside, so I figured the best thing to eat was ice cream.
That seems legit. That seems legit.
I could see my breath when I walked into my office, so I thought, hey, ice cream.
Ice cream sounds good.
To warm you up.
Ice cream sounds like a plan. Ooh.
What the crap? Hang on.
Welcome back.
So I was on, as we wait for Zach to figure stuff out, I was on a podcast this week, guys, with Barry, our good friend and Irish friend, Barry Dunn, and Bobby Paul's a Nintendo guru. And we had a nice little chat, like a brainstorming session about a TUI in Jules Watson studio and what he's putting out in 2018. Did you guys see that he put out a press release for Zeo Drifter?
I did.
Or not a press release, it was an email. Tweet, sorry.
And a tweet.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, Zeo Drifter I thought was good. I was hoping for Zeo Drifter 2, actually, like a Super Zeo Drifter.
As well.
Super Zeo Drifter in the art style of Metroid, Super Metroid.
I'm kind of hoping that it's Zeo Drifter port because we're getting a Zeo Drifter sequel. At some point.
I doubt that one. I hope, but I doubt.
Again, low expectations, high hopes.
High hopes, yeah. What else we put
I've quite enjoyed Mutant Mudds on the Switch.
Yeah. And that was a bargain deal, too. Did you get it for the tenner? Yeah?
I did.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So I was looking at it. I was playing it when I was on holidays. The block part of it, too. And at one point, it's got like the leaderboards, right? So it's got worldwide leaderboards and your friends' leaderboards. And Jules I have him on my friends list, and he was like ranked at number 80, and I was ranked at like number 10. So I was like, yeah, that's right. I'm better than the developer at their own damn game. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that was kind of a good time. Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to AFK a minute while Zach...
Yeah, you do you. You do you. We'll hold down the fort,
Zach,
Marty and I.
AFKs.
Zach does something else, and 8 people watch us.
I've just gotten totally sucked into Enter the Gungeon. Like I can't stop playing it.
Mm.
It's really good. Like it's everything that Binding of Isaac should have been. as in I can play it in front of my kids.
Sure, there you go. That's a difference, eh?
So that's a pretty big deal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've been playing Blossom's Tale.
Yeah, it's good.
Blossom's Tale. That's really good.
Yeah,
that one grabbed me hard.
I just finished the second dungeon.
Yeah,
and so I'll be I'm headed toward the third. The only problem I have with the game is that the dungeons are kind of straightforward, like you as far as difficulty, and then the bosses are insanely ridiculously hard.
Yeah, that's a good point. No, that's a really good point, actually.
It's like there's no in between.
Mm-hmm.
Because have you finished the second dungeon yet?
I'm in it right now.
The fire dungeon.
I think.
Okay, so the mid boss is harder than the real boss, and the mid boss is one of the most ridiculous. Yeah, it's wow. It's like they didn't know if they were a role playing game or a bullet hell shooter.
Okay.
For the second boss, it was very strange, but it was fun. But after dying for like the third time, I was like, okay,
yeah,
I need some help here.
Mm-hmm. One of the things I found also too is that the dungeons are long.
Oh yeah, they're extremely long.
Like really long.
I feel like,
and then a couple of them, like when I walk
past, but then they just went, hey, those dungeons in A Link to the Past, it just weren't long enough.
Yeah. Well, and then a couple of them is I'll walk into, each screen, each room is its own puzzle. Sometimes what you have to accomplish, and I'll look at it and I'm like, this is too easy. Like, oh, there's all these spike blocks jumping around the room. You have to get around it, and I'm like, I'll just walk around the edge. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that solved that problem, right? Like, so
I don't know what happened, but my Enter the Gungeon just updated.
Interesting. I'm
actually enjoying The End Is Nigh too. I had to tell my son, I was like, play this game.
Yeah.
And I dove back into it a little bit yesterday, even after I recorded some footage for it, and I've been really enjoying it.
Nice.
It's like it's a lot similar to Super Meat Boy, except that you can't cling to walls.
Yeah.
So you can catch edges of platforms and hooks that are on walls, but you can't like actually cling to the walls, which at first is like it's pretty easy, but like there's a huge learning curve like for this game. Like right off the bat.
Okay, I'm back for reals. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hello. Thank you for joining us.
I rebooted my router. We're good.
We have finished all of our predictions. And,
yep.
We're done.
We're ready to go. We're ready to close out the show.
All right, perfect. Man,
sorry guys.
This gets easier and easier every week.
No predictions for you.
Let me do a quick levels check. Everybody say a word. Special word.
Hello.
Say your special word.
Word up.
Potato.
Is it the safe word, Zach?
Only not too safe.
Kumquat.
Okay. Oreos.
Guacamole.
All right.
Okay, that happened.
Did you hit every button?
I did. All right.
The Smash clone Rivals of Aether has been announced for the Switch tonight.
Ugh. Stop at that. Stop.
Once on a road trip.
Clones, man. Or Smash clones. Everybody's got to jump in now while the Smash void is there.
Well, this is the one that that everybody was excited about. That they actually say is way better than Brawlout.
Okay.
Where are we reading that?
Okay, I'm going to go when everybody else is ready to go.
Oh, okay.
Ready?
Well, let's do it.
All right, in a 3, in a 2, in a 1.
Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 161, recorded on January 4th, 2018, On tonight's episode, we're going to discuss a couple of big stories, but mostly what we're going to do is serve up our predictions for 2018 and all things Nintendo. And we'll go back and see who won 2017's predictions as well. Here's a hint. You're listening to him right now. Zach, cue the music.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Nintendo Dads Podcast. My name is Zach Erickson, and tonight is January 4th, 2018. 2018. Joining me tonight from the grouchy land of morning Ireland with his cup of tea, Justin Masson. What's going on, Justin?
You know, we don't have to start this always grouchy, but I mean, seriously, I've been up for an hour, you know
what?
That's my 2018 prediction. We continue at 4 a.m. I just get grouchier. All right.
Yeah. You know, I don't want to pigeonhole you. You know, I mean, there's lots of different ways we can do it. Speaking of lots of different ways we can do it, joining us as well, Jesse Waldeck, co-editor-in-chief of VGTribune.com. What's going on, Jesse?
Yeah, I think I remember how to do this. It's been a few weeks.
It's been a while. Yeah.
It's been a long time since we recorded a podcast.
Yeah, it has. And speaking of I don't know where to go from there. Speaking of being an expert at everything he does, from the land of the South, Marty Estes, what's going on, man?
Wow. How do I follow that up? I mean,
he's got high hopes
and low expectations for 2018.
Oh, is the Nintendo Direct already scheduled?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So currently,
I
I know I probably shouldn't even mention this, but currently it is 13 degrees outside, and it's all of 15 degrees in my office. So,
wait, are you talking Fahrenheit?
We're talking the way that most people measure the temperature, which is the right way.
No.
It is Fahrenheit? There is no way it's
Celsius.
Fahrenheit. Oh, in Celsius. Okay. 15 Celsius, man. Actually, you know what? It's we had the weirdest cold front blow through. It like record lows. It was minus 40. And I don't even have to say anything else because minus 40 is where Celsius and Fahrenheit line up. So it was really minus 40 for you. Like actual minus 40.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
I just would like to take this opportunity to say that while we here in the United States appreciate the kind gift of weather from Canada, you guys can have it back.
Fair.
Wait a minute. He's complaining because it's 15 is cold. Oh, okay. All right. Never mind.
I'm cold. I'm freezing.
Hey, Zach, we're having a great weather conversation. I don't want to send us off track right now.
Meteorologist dads. That's what people say for, right?
I know, right? That's what they tune in for. Meteorologist dads every single week.
Cold front is coming in.
Did you know that in McDonald's in Canada, the Happy Meal toy is Pokemon?
What? I like how right when you said that, the final note of the song, which is that low piano noise, went bong. I didn't know that.
Yes, you got to catch them all. They are apparently Pokemon toys.
Oh my god!
It's the new series with Poplio.
What McDonald's?
I'm looking at a tweet right now.
Right now in America, the Happy Meal toy is Yokai Watch.
McDonald's Canada. Where are you seeing this, man?
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is in Ireland? Small pint of Guinness.
I was gonna say Digimon.
No, yeah, no.
It's a small pint smaller than a large pint.
Oh, there's a baby pint in there.
It's a kid-sized pint.
But aren't they all pints?
No.
Isn't pint a fixed measurement?
No,
Not
not
in Ireland.
No. Where are you seeing this? Because I'm not seeing it.
Here, I just tagged you in a tweet from the Nintendo Dads account.
Okay. All right.
Now he's completely derailed, Zach.
Yep, I know.
Yep. Okay. What? Oh, hey, that's cool. All right. We got Pokemons. Let's
just as a reference point, we're loving it. This episode is brought to you not by Nintendo's. Or not by McDonald's.
You know what? Hey, we're gonna get straight into the news, shall we? Because we got stuff to do. We got podcasts to make. All right, and the news is brought to you by patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, where for as little as $1 a month, you can support us giving free advertising to McDonald's Canada. Yeah, and what about Marty? What's we got some new patrons this month? What
yeah. Keep talking while I go check.
I'm going to. I'm looking at this picture of McDonald's toys. Looks like there is.
Are they actual toys, or is it like those crappy? These glasses make you look like Pikachu.
No, they're actually like at least the ones in this picture. One of them is Poplio, one of them is Squirtle, and both of them are actually just little figures of each Pokemon, which is a lot better than those crappy glasses. Or that's a thing. So I don't know. Looks like I'm gonna be
not like the stuff you get at Sonic or Subway.
So what I'd like for you to do then, Zach, is if you could be doing a direct video tour of McDonald's and getting proper, that'd be great.
Yeah.
What?
For vamping.
I'm ready. Let's talk about this. Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. Patrons.
Let's talk some patrons, because we've actually got a couple of new patrons since the last time we recorded, which again, like Jesse says, feels like forever. But that's okay. Holidays and stuff. We want to say thank you to our new patrons, Matt Nelson and Dark Is.
Dark Is what?
Dark Is. Darkus.
Dark Is.
That's his name.
It is. He just
or
is.
Her name or their name. We're not gonna pigeonhole anyone here.
No. Hey, you know what? You do you. That's awesome. No, seriously. Thank you. You guys are awesome. I'm just super grateful for that. And I think that 2018 is going to bring even more awesome stuff from Nintendo Dads. I'm feeling good about it. I've got some ideas I haven't told anybody yet, so we'll see. We'll see.
Which means they probably won't happen. Just as an FYI.
Probably. We'll see. They're not. They're more side project-y, but we'll see. And no, here's the thing: is that you guys have no faith, for one, and two.
So much confidence in Zach.
And two, I think that we could do it in a way that we wouldn't have to do it.
Here's what I'm hoping our New Year's resolution is that we start on time. That's all.
Dream. Okay. Okay.
Wow.
Let's go through some stories, shall we?
Let's do rapid fire news.
We got a lot of stuff to get through here. So big stories. What are some of our big stories at 4.8? Okay, so today, or was it today that they announced this?
Yes.
Nintendo Switch has become the fastest selling video game console of all time in North America. It has already sold 4.8 million units. That was up to the end of 2017. That means it outsold the Wii. It has outsold, which I think was it the fastest? I know that
the Wii was the fastest. The PlayStation 2 was the second fastest. It surpassed both of them.
See, yes. I'm not sure where they're doing this calculus, because unless they have like secret numbers of exactly what everyone sold in 10 months. Because I tried actually doing some backtracking and figuring out what's what, and the best I can do is at the end of the quarter, which doesn't certain quarter numbers, which doesn't necessarily mean it'll be 10 months. It could end up being 11 or 12. But so I saw numbers like PS3 got 5.6 and 360 got 5. So maybe there was on like the just barely past that 10-month mark where I couldn't get more fine-tuned numbers, but definitely surpassed Wii and Wii U. Like the numbers I found for Wii in the first 10 months was about just over 3 million.
And maybe so. Is this Nintendo that actually announced this? By the way,
yeah, it was Nintendo. So if you want to give their actual PR statement.
So I would assume that if the Wii U, or if the Wii, sorry, not the Wii U, if the Wii had been agreed upon as the highest selling or the fastest selling, and that Nintendo has their own internal numbers, then they would be able to tell if it was or not. If that makes sense.
Some of the caveats that I would say here is that it is the Nintendo. This is the direct quote from the PR release. Nintendo Switch becomes the fastest selling home console gaming or home video game system of all time in the U.S.
Right.
So we're not talking North America. We're just talking U.S.
Okay.
4.8 million units in the U.S. according to Nintendo's internal sales figures.
Okay, so
the highest.
That makes the numbers
Total.
even weirder because the numbers I was finding was for the entire North American region.
Jesse, why are you challenging Nintendo's PR spin of how they're doing and the numbers they have? Just nod your head and say thank you, sir.
I'm just wondering how they know how PS3 and PS4 did, because I'm sure Sony didn't tell them.
Well, I think their statement is, I don't know.
Anyway, so basically, you know, this is I don't doubt it, right? Like it was already on track to do that. Kimishima has also said that he expects to sell 20 million this year, which is even more, you know, like that's a lot of units. I don't know how that compares to everything else, but that's pretty significant considering, and again, that's worldwide, right?
Yeah, I would laugh at that if Nintendo had not just had probably the best year in its company in recent memory. Yeah, for sure. So, so I don't know. I can say 20 million, right? Mm-hmm. That's like, then they've got to be at least like they're halfway there. At least.
I think they're saying 20 just this year on top of the 10 they already, for a total of 30.
And I need to see some games. I need to see some plans for this year.
Yeah, because we still don't know, because the last numbers we've heard of was from a few weeks ago when they announced 10 million worldwide. We probably won't know. I'm not sure if I'm sure in a few weeks they'll tell us what end of third quarter numbers are, but the numbers that are more important is the end of fiscal year, which will be the end of March. That'll be the big telling number to see. It'll be interesting to see.
Well, and again, they've got to deliver the goods on this, man. Like we don't know what's coming. We don't have a single release date in 2018 so far on the Switch from Nintendo.
And we said the exact same thing a year ago.
I was going to say
even after that big January media event.
Oh, that's true.
And keep in mind, we do have a few release dates. They're just not ones that we might enjoy or like Bayonetta.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we do have Bayonetta. Do we have an actual release date with that?
February 16th.
I thought we did.
Okay. All right. I'm probably why am I saying I'm probably excited? But anyway, so there's that, and then just some other data points here. Super Mario Odyssey has a 60% attach rate. Breath of the Wild has 55. Mario Kart Deluxe is 50. Splatoon 2 has a 20% attach rate. So overall, people, that's crazy that like on average, like those are some pretty impressive attach rates. So there you go. What is this story DLC coming to Mario and Rabbids via a leak from Japan? Do we have any specific details with that, or is it just because I think that was already announced, wasn't it?
No, this is new. This is something that popped up on the radar. I'm looking up a source on this right now, just so.
Because the previous DLC happened a few weeks ago, where they added like a versus mode.
Oh, wasn't no?
Yeah, but there was no story in any of that. So, a tweet from Switch Indie at Switch Indie or Switch Indies shows two pictures, one of which was from the Japanese Switch eShop that shows possible story DLC incoming. So far this has only been released or been rumored about in Japan. But I'm going to guess, and this is just me, I'm going to guess this is something that's going to be revealed during the Nintendo Direct.
Mm-hmm. Which is, they haven't announced that yet, have they?
No.
The rumor is going to be... Yeah, the rumor is going to be, they're saying 11th, which is like a week.
Basically what it says is that on the Japanese eShop listing for the expansion pass, it lists story DLC.
Okay. Give me a sec here.
Chat's got an interesting prediction about this.
What's that?
You don't hold it to yourself now, Jesse. Tell everyone.
Rabbid, Rosalina, and Rosalina herself.
That'd be cool.
I would love that.
More characters? That'd be awesome. Sorry, I for some reason thought that they had announced specific kinds of DLC that were coming. But I guess I was wrong with that.
No, they did. I mean, they did for this year. You know, we had the challenge pack, and we had the first DLC, which gave you like the steampunk or pixel weapons and stuff like that. But mainly it was just challenge maps.
Yeah, because I think everything they promised at launch they already gave us, and then the versus mode from a few weeks ago was out of the blue, unexpected, unannounced. Just here it is.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
I definitely think there's some fire to this. I would, in fact, as well as it was received, I would be really surprised if we didn't get at least one DLC story pack for this game.
Yeah.
The problem is, am I going to remember all the tactics I learned?
But here's the real issue.
I still have not beaten like chapter 3 in this game.
It's not going to be Rosalina. Everyone knows it's going to be Birdo and Rabid Birdo.
I don't want to know where those eggs are coming out of in the Rabid Birdo.
Oh, dude, can you imagine?
Exactly where you think.
Yep, exactly. And just how you can watch the egg come out of her mouth, you will see it exactly on the other side.
I'm sorry I said that.
It's happening. Call it. 2018 prediction.
Yeah. Right on.
What was that?
Back. So, all right, I've done a good job tonight.
What was that sound? That was a terrible sound.
That was Justin leaning back in his chair and sighing heavily.
Oh, Justin, you're so high above us. How dare we bring you down?
Damn right I am.
Next up on the stories here, Nintendo Power is back as a podcast. Because every idiot Nintendo podcast is what it says in my notes. I'm not gonna lie to you. I saw that this happened and I had an existential crisis.
Talk to us a little bit about that. Lean back in your couch and tell us about your existential
let's hear. Where's my disclaimer button here?
The following is for entertainment and educational purposes only.
No, I'm not.
If you need help.
If you need, then just go. But so Nintendo Power podcast is now out again.
They have another episode out.
Do they?
I thought you said it's out again.
Okay, so Nintendo Power is back, as in like it used to be a magazine, now it's not.
It was a magazine.
Yes, Justin. Nintendo Power was indeed a magazine at one point. So they. See, now I'm the grouchiness is contagious. So I was a little bit like, oh no, Nintendo like already has replaced the gaming media as a way of delivering information, yada yada yada. Now we're going to have Nintendo come in as a podcast too, and then nobody will listen to our podcast because whatever, right? Which I'm not saying this now because I want all the listeners to tell me, oh no, it's not a big deal at all.
But if you want, you can ping him at Zach Erickson on Twitter and make him feel better.
Yeah, you can do that. So, but basically what I'm saying, what I listened to it and I was like, okay, no, this is basically just a long form. I think, so basically the first episode the first half was like, it turned out it was it felt like a long version of Nintendo Minute, and the second half was a long form interview.
Nintendo Hour.
Yeah, exactly. And it felt like it was about the same thing. And I'm like, this is all right, actually. Like, and also, I don't know, maybe this is just a weird thing. This is almost like pulling back the curtain a little bit to about like almost like, I don't know. What were your guys' thoughts? Maybe I'm talking too much about this. What are your thoughts about it?
Early on, I thought the thing sounded way overly scripted.
Yes. Podcasts not be overly scripted. That's
and especially when it got to the interview with Aonuma and I forget who else. It sounded like it was scripted just the way they edited it, but near the end you actually did have questions bouncing off the answers. So I'm like, okay, maybe it isn't as scripted as I thought. Maybe the early part might have been, but the end definitely wasn't. It was just edited in a way. And I know, and I didn't like how they handled the English translation. I like the E3 interviews where we actually hear the entire Japanese response, and then you hear the translation. But I know that makes bad radio, so I understand why they cut it the way they did. It just wasn't how I wanted to hear it.
It made it feel less natural.
Yeah, which is why I thought it felt more scripted, at least early on in that interview.
And not only that, but sometimes there's like that a female translator for a male interviewee, which can sometimes be weird, but yeah.
I think kind of like you, Zach. I was a little bit, breathing into a paper bag. Like, seriously, are you kidding me? We've as I mentioned before, every idiot has a Nintendo podcast, and now the biggest idiots in the room taking up our space. But I think after I listened to it, I was like, you know what? I think it's gonna be okay, and not to discredit the work they're doing, but I think nowadays the way that media is consumed, what we're getting from Nintendo, right, is the kind of the Nintendo PR spin, right? The podcast is a PR spin for what they're doing to promote their content, to give the kind of the clean, shiny, right? Where independent podcasts such as ourselves, as NBC, as any of our friends in the network, we can give honest takes, right? We're not we're not the PR spin team for it. We're doing our hey, we don't think this game is good, right? So I think that's a place for us to still live and still be fine. And I know people were slagging it and also here's the other thing, I saw a lot of slagging on the internet about this. Guys, it's a first episode. Go back to our first episode, it was garbage. All right. So a podcast takes, let's be honest, the last 150 are pretty much garbage. But it takes a while for a podcast to find
2018, baby.
A podcast takes a while to find its footing.
Finally out of beta.
It'll be interesting to see how these the podcast maybe pairs up, right? Do they do a Nintendo Direct and immediately after the Direct, like a day later, you get the podcast and they talk about more details? How is Nintendo going to use this as a vehicle to really deliver more messaging about content and behind the scenes interviews, or is it just a chat? Is it even the Nintendo Minute thing they have on the YouTube channel kind of feels like it's where are you finding your footing? What's the avenue you're covering? So it's interesting for sure.
Yeah, I'm remembering a few years ago, official Nintendo magazine, I want to say, had a podcast that they would do every month, and they also had their own podcast, and I remember listening to that. And you're right, Justin, it does feel like an extended PR message almost, which is kind of, as much as I love things like Nintendo Minute, I think that they can be fun, and I have watched them on occasion and things like that. But it does feel like one of the things that we can the fan podcast community offers, I think, is that more authentic take, right? And it's just it's anytime a podcast is brought up, it's never like, oh, here, let's talk about this game. What do you like about this game? It's the difference would be on Nintendo Power, you're going to get questions like, what do you like about this game, or tell us about this game, versus on our show it will be, did you like this game? Is this a good game? And I think this ad from the Nintendo Power podcast.
Yeah, and I think this goes back to, again, when I made the commentary before of every idiot has a Nintendo podcast. But it goes back to the importance of your knowing your audience and your nicheness, right? Yep. So our audience is parenting. We're a clean show in relation to that. We know what our target is. So when we review stuff, when we review content, Marty, you were mentioning earlier, The End is Nigh. The End is Nigh is not a great game for parenting, right? Probably for younger children, right? We can provide that information, where I highly doubt Nintendo's gonna be like, it's not a great game on the eShop if you have young kids. The End is Nigh, right? They're not going to give you that. They're going to tell you why you need to purchase, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Yeah. And probably not have that conversation about, hey, did you notice that her character design was a little bit unevenly matched? Right? Yeah. They're not going to have that conversation where we can. So I think by them being there, it actually creates a larger need for other podcasts such as ours, and just ours, because if there is any podcast you should be subscribing to, it's just ours. Yeah. To exist.
So I think it sounded like that their podcast sounded like the audio-only version of a YouTube show.
Yeah, that was the other thing.
Probably could have been a better format being on YouTube, but of course they have other YouTube shows that kind of may have clashing formats.
I went to their YouTube channel to see the video interview, for example, and I was surprised to see that it was a still image, and I was like, oh, that's an interesting choice. But yeah.
Please tell me that I wasn't the only one who, when this got announced, said, "Oh, that's what Jose Otero's doing at Nintendo."
That was exactly what I thought too.
He's not doing it though.
Well, he may be in the background. He just wasn't on mic.
You know what though? I really honestly got the sense that this is a passion project that a few people are doing. And actually, I used to listen to the host of it, Chris Slate, is a guy who used to be on Power Pros with somebody who's been on this show, Chris Hoffman. So I recognize him. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember he disappeared, and he actually is the one who's running this now.
Yeah, and that's oh geez, now. Yeah, it does feel like a passion project. So it's interesting. Yeah, sorry. Let's move on.
Well, before we do, remember a few weeks ago or a few months ago, I did that what we called the Voltron cast. We had like five different shows represented in one show.
Oh, that's right. I remember this.
That was the Nintendo Power Cast.
Yeah.
So when the Nintendo Power Podcast started, the Nintendo Power Cast got an automatic boost because of how similar the names were. I
love that, by the way. I think
I think Nintendo Power Podcast was number 1, and I think Nintendo Power Cast ended up being number 3. You know, in the entire games and hobbies section.
They're
not just searching on Nintendo, but the entire games and hobbies section.
That's amazing.
Of Apple Podcasts.
Yeah. Right on. So let's move on, shall we, to some... What else we got here? Some final bits here. ARMS and Breath of the Wild are no longer getting content updates. That has been confirmed. The Zelda team has moved on to creating a new game. ARMS team, I'm assuming, is working on something as well. Yeah, so how do you guys feel about that? Dr. Coyle was the final character that was updated to ARMS. How do you guys feel about sort of the looking back now on... Let's start with, I think, Breath of the Wild. We've talked a lot about Breath of the Wild, but how do you guys feel knowing that that's the last we've seen of it?
I'm okay with it. I mean, there's still tons I've got to do in that world, and I would wager to say that for a majority of people who are playing this game, they still have tons to do in that world, and adding DLC only makes my percentage go down. So, you know, I mean, if you want to really 100% the game and do all the DLC and everything, that's hours and hours and hours and hours of content. You know, at what point do we say, okay, it's time to walk away and do something new? Because if you're just demanding more DLC, then you're delaying the inevitable sequel or next game in the franchise or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there has to be a cutoff point. And I feel the same way about ARMS. You know, there has to be a point where that team gets freed up to go do a sequel, and I hope we get an ARMS sequel. You know, I hope that's what they're doing. But maybe they're doing something else. I don't know. But like, there's got to be a point where development ends. And you let it rest.
I hope that they're doing something new. I hope that they're not doing ARMS 2, because that would be kind of boring.
Yeah, I think when I say that I want ARMS 2, I don't mean I want ARMS 2 next year. I want ARMS 2 in a couple of years when there's been time for it to kind of, you know, fade out, but then they bring it back in a big way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would be happy with just about, I don't know, we'll see. But it's going to be a good. I'm happy that Zelda is that we're not going to drag Breath of the Wild out and make it this sort of, you know, that it outwears its welcome. Is that the word? It wears out its welcome. There we go. Like, I want it to go out on a high note and not just like us get bored of it, because I feel like there are some games that could do that. I kind of feel like Smash Brothers did that last year, or not last year. Sorry, it did that. That was 2017. It did that, you know, where it was just like update after update after update until, like, by the time we got Corrin in Smash Brothers on Wii U, it was like, all right, are you serious? Like, enough is enough. So, yeah. Anyway, so let's Justin, what about you, man?
Yeah, no, I'm happy with the content that ARMS delivered. I know they did say that they're not delivering any new content. They'll probably do patches potentially, and they'll still run their party crashes and stuff like that, but just no new characters, which is fine. We've got like 4 of them. I think it's a fun game. I come back to it. The party crash I played this last weekend. It was a great time. I'm excited for them to move on to different things, but it was a great opportunity. Think about it. If you think about it, 9 months ago we did not know, a year ago we did not know this game existed. It came into existence. We played it. We've enjoyed it. Now let that team move on to something new. But it's a great example of bringing a new IP in, and it mirrored the Splatoon strategy for implementation for updates that they did. And I think they had great success with it. So I thought it was really, really well done.
Yeah, Justin, you bring up a great point. As long as they'll keep Party Crash going, will stay in ARMS because I love that model of Versus. I think that's a great asset to the game.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting. I mean, are they going to try and invest more energy and time and money into making it more of an esport game, right? We saw that at some of the gaming conferences as tournaments. So are they going to continue that model, or are they just going to be like, well, it's done and dusted, right? So let's move on to something else. So we'll definitely see. And I think with Breath of the Wild, I think, as much as I would have loved to have more, I talked about having like a Blue Ocean strategy of updates for the next 5 years on it. I'm fine with it also being shut down.
Agreed. Right on. So let us now finally just some upcoming games that are coming to the Switch. Justin, you have any?
Well, yeah, I listed. If you go over to our YouTube channel, I actually listed the top games that you need to be looking out for in January of 2018. Those games include World to the West. Xeodrifter was just announced by Jules Watson and Atui Studios, so that's one to keep an eye out for. Kirby Battle Royale for the 3DS comes out in North America this month. We actually had a review copy of it back in November, and that review is actually up on our YouTube channel. Thanks to Gary Gray from Topic Nintendo for supporting us with that. So you can check out our review. So if you're thinking about it, maybe check it out. Also, there's already a demo in the eShop if you are questioning as well, so check that out. Super Meat Boy hits next week. Lost Sphere comes out this month as well. Shoe, which I had an opportunity to play over at EGX, and it was a great time, so you should definitely check that out. Same with World to West, by the way. We have a review for that coming out very soon. Pokemon Crystal and Fury. So, guys, there is definitely not a lack of games to be playing. And these are just the ones that pulled out that we've either had experience with or have caught our eye. There are a ton of other games coming out, but again, these are a couple that you should be keeping an eye out for, and that will be providing coverage over the next month on the Nintendo Dad's YouTube channel as well.
I think the Kirby game got a demo that hit today, too.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that, did I not?
Yeah. And one thing that you didn't mention that we'll throw out here for some of our listeners that got excited when NBA Playgrounds first came out for the Switch, they dropped a surprise on the eShop today with NBA Playgrounds Enhanced Edition, which is what the game should have been, when they patched it, which they never did. But if you bought the original NBA Playgrounds, you can get this free.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say.
But it's only through January 19th.
What is it?
You need to do it you need to do it as soon as possible. So if you're like me, you need to do it as soon as possible so you don't forget to pick it up.
What is the actual
update include?
So yeah, what's the
it includes fixes to the rebound system. It includes fixes in general to the game. It also includes 100 new players that weren't in the game before, and so updated rosters, I guess. And also, it fixes the card pack system from being too repetitive, is what the note said.
It also looks like they've turned it into a much more like because stuff. There's like a lot of DLC. Does that make sense?
Well, when you look at it in the eShop, if you bought it the first time, then you'll see that it costs $0. If you haven't bought it yet, then it breaks down into 2 separate purchases.
So are they basically saying, "Hey, everybody, go delete your old version of this game, but download this instead"?
Yes, and one thing that they did mention is that your saves from the old version of the game will swap over to the new version.
So is this like like, are they going to like I don't want to say a free to play because that's not what this is, but like more microtransaction.
It doesn't look that way. I mean, it looks basically what it looks like is they fixed the game, but instead of offering the update to everyone who already had, NBA Playgrounds, they just made a new game.
Seems to me like they just wanted to get to the top of the recently released thing again. That I'm too cynical this way, but that's maybe what I would say. I don't know. It's possible. Either way. Anything else on this list, Justin? Like, we got World to the West, Zeo Drifter, Pokemon Crystals coming out this month, Lost Sphere.
No, what we're going to be doing, just as interesting, we are going to be doing a monthly series. Before every single month drops, we're going to be releasing a video that basically tells you what eShop games you should be keeping an eye out for. These are the games that we knew as of like the end of December, and actually increased even just recently because of Jules Watson's release or mentioning of Zeo Drifter. So these are just what's on our docket, but there's a ton of stuff, guys, hitting every single week. And obviously with the Nintendo Direct that's looming, again, not confirmed, but most likely this list is going to continue to get expanded. These are just the ones that we're pulling up that we're interested in. Sometimes we had access to some of them we've already had experience with hands-on. So that's all.
So I have this in the notes, so I must have heard it from somewhere, but I have Escapists 2 coming out next week.
That's right. It did get released, and you are available to do a pre-order for that one as well right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not a game I'm interested in, but I'm sure someone out there is.
Yeah. Cool. Another one actually. Yeah. Sorry. We'll just continue because we can be like, hey, look what else is in the eShop. We'll move on.
Yeah. Right on. Okay. So with that, let's get into a little bit of what I like to call predictions time. All right. And of course, predictions are when we guess what's coming up. I don't know. So what we want to do first is we are going to review our predictions from last year. And the way that we score this, last year, by the way, as far as predictions go, Marty was new. I went and listened to this. Marty was new, so he did not have an opportunity to actually do this. What episode was it, Jesse? You said episode 110?
110.
All right. So what I want to do is, and last year who won? Actually, I think Justin is the reigning champion 2 years in a row.
Damn right. I got my championship belt over here, jerks.
Yeah.
Do we have like any championship music? Like some wrestling music or something? Like the Rock says the people's champ something. You just cue that up so that when I win this time again, you can just have that ready. All right? That's fair? Good. Good soundboard, boy.
Here, hang on. Let me see if I can find something. I don't know, like, where is it? Champion. That one? How's that?
That's right. Coming back.
Right.
Reigning champion.
Last year, the score was, and again, this was 5 guesses here, so -1 for Justin, -2, and then Jesse was -3. So here we go. Let's go through our predictions. I'll just read these off because why not? So, Marty, your first prediction. We're gonna go with you first.
Awesome.
And we're gonna do a judgment. Of course, again, we're gonna go +1, -1, or 0, depending on if it's like how many points you get. So the first one, you said SNES Classic will be released in 2017.
That's a +1. Give the man a win.
All right. Next one is near the end of the year, the 3DS will be declared as dying in 2018.
Who's making that call, though? Nintendo will tell you it's not dying.
Nintendo will tell you it's not, but I think that it's pretty... I mean, that Ultra Moon was probably the last... Well, there's a Kirby game coming out.
There's a Kirby game.
I would say dying is...
Let me clarify this because...
Clarify it now, man. It's a year later.
The clarification would simply be that it would be declared as dying by Nintendo.
Yeah, I don't think Nintendo's
done that. I'm gonna say that's I'm
gonna say it's a 0.
I'm saying you can call that a -1.
I'm gonna say it's 0 because it's not I don't think that Nintendo has by the end of the year they were saying that it was doing amazing in many more years. Everybody else said it's not though. So I'm going to say that evens out. It's a 0.
I still plan on buying a new 3DS just because my current one is battery's flaky and I want to buy a new one before they stop making them.
I thought about buying it.
You should buy the Super Nintendo 3DS that's at Amazon.
Yeah.
Do they still have those?
I was very tempted to buy the new orange and white 3DS over here.
Yeah. You know what the worst part about that was I saw people posting on Reddit about those right after Christmas that some Walmarts were getting rid of those for $100.
What?
I think that the stores are by far getting rid of them. Like the stores I don't think want any room for the 3DS anymore. They want all Switches all the time.
Yeah.
All right, your third prediction, Marty. Super Mario Galaxy 3 in quotes.
Ooh.
With themed worlds, including a Spanish world from the Switch trailer and a samurai world like Miyamoto's shirt from his appearance on Jimmy Fallon. I'm going to just go ahead and give you a +1.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, you are.
That was, I think that you were putting together a lot of pieces that were already there, and I'm sure that you
sure.
Yeah, he's like Beautiful Mind, just looking at a board.
It's exactly what it was.
Jimmy Fallon, Samurai's Galaxy.
Bill Trennan tweets.
And the thing is, that one was the thing is that was not even announced. That world was not even announced when the game came out, right? So that's a big old.
Well, if you think about that, at this point, we would not have seen anything. We would not have seen Mario Odyssey. This is early January.
We had seen the Spanish world. We had seen that initial Switch reveal trailer.
The Karen trailer from October.
Right. Oh, Karen, you tramp.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I don't know Karen that way. I was just throwing out.
Cartoon in development since 2015. You were so close. I'm going to give it a 0 because it's not based on that, but it was. You're not wrong. There was the Mega Man game announced. I don't know. Does everybody else? How does everybody else?
Fine. I'm okay with that.
Fine.
Because he was right, but it was the wrong thing, so it cancels out. And then bonus round, both Animal Crossing and Fire Emblem app for mobile, and we'll surprise with a Zelda app. I think bonus round we don't count, do we? Are we counting those?
We count bonus round.
We count bonus round. All right. So both Fire Emblem and Animal Crossing app for mobile, we'll surprise with the Zelda app. So I think that neutrals out to a right?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? What were you going to say?
I was going to say I'd give him a 0.5.
0.5.
0.5? All right. 0.5.
But it's kind of the prediction of like air is good.
Well, they had already announced
air is good. Not breathing is bad.
So a total of 2.5 for this. So the next one here, Jesse, in 20. So for Jesse, the first one here, Switch will launch with 2 SKUs, system only for 250, and the system plus doodads and 1 game for 300.
So I was half right because it only came with 1 SKU with no game for 300.
No, it came with 2 SKUs. It had the gray and then it had the colored. Yeah, you're right on that, Jesse.
That's true.
And then the bundling.
My pricing was half.
The pricing was a little bit off, but then like the bundling of other games that was not done by Nintendo.
I wasn't counting.
Sorry, hold on though.
I wasn't calling those BS bundles that ThinkGeek did.
Right.
I was talking about legit, similar to what the Wii U did. They had 2 distinct models.
Right, but later in the year Nintendo did because they had the Splatoon bundle and the Odyssey bundle.
Well, I'm talking about at launch.
What are we calling this?
I was trying to help you out. Now you know what? You're just shooting yourself.
I'd say 0.5. That's my.
But 0. Because here's the spirit of what you were saying though is that they were going to offer different things in the 2 bundles. Yes, there were 2 SKUs.
Yeah,
but there were.
I was thinking Wii U style.
Yeah. So are we saying like they were not different prices? They were not offering different things. It was just different colors.
I'm okay with the 0. I'll accept that. I was just trying to squeeze out that half point if I could.
No, that's
because that's the only point I'm getting.
Marty set a high bar.
And then the next one here, we will not hear anything from Retro.
That's a definitely one. I got a point.
That's a plus one.
Now is where I lose them.
Final Fantasy VII and or Final Fantasy 15 will be ported to Switch. That's
a hard -1.
And then Dragon Quest X will get a North American release in 2017. That is a -1. And then you passed on the bonus round.
I couldn't think of anything else.
So you got a -1. Hey, you're up 2 from last year, though.
Yay.
So that's good. All right.
Yay, question mark?
Yeah. So the next one here, Justin, we come to you, good sir.
We'll do me last. I was the champion.
We'll go to me then. So here's what we said. I said E3 will be entirely unspectacular and satisfactory. Digital event only, no stage show. There will be a 2-day Treehouse stream, and they will show off Switch games.
I'm gonna give you.
I feel like a 0.75.
Yeah. When you were like, it's gonna be unspectacular, I was like, it was pretty good.
It was pretty good. Here's the thing though, and I'll say 0.75 is fine, whatever. And maybe even just for fairness, I'll just say a 0.5 because 0.75s are for people who get too crazy about this. 0.5. So the only thing is that it didn't really. Did they announce anything new in that other than Metroid and Pokemon? I don't think so, right? Oh no, they did Kirby and Yoshi.
Kirby, Yoshi, Rocket League.
Yeah. Okay. No, you're right.
And then they had a big show for
Pokemon
Odyssey.
and Metroid Prime 4.
And then in the Treehouse stream, they dropped that weird sushi game.
And Metroid: Samus Returns.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can go take your unspectacular attitude and get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Listen, I was setting expectations low at this point.
Well, you're all about low expectations, aren't you?
Okay, here's one that I think I win. Switch will have inventory problems until Q3.
I'd agree with that.
And the NES Classic will disappear from shelves by the end of the year.
Yep.
Except for, they never appeared on shelves. But
yeah. Well, that's by the end of the year. I mean, the first week of January is by the end of the year.
Right.
So Animal Crossing Switch and mobile will both launch no later than Q3. Mobile home is involved.
I think Animal Crossing was Q4.
I think it was,
Animal
but the mobile was involved. I called that there was a mobile home that was involved.
Yeah, well, you said Switch, so that doesn't exist yet. But
yeah,
so
it's a 0 or a plus or a 0.5.
I'm gonna give you 0.
I'd say 0.
A 0. All right. And then finally, so this next one, Retro is developing a new IP that will be released in launch window and will blow our minds. That's a big old -1. And finally, bonus round, Virtual Console or Classics games will be released in a pitiful trickle-out method involving Pokemon Gold and Silver and Mother 3. That's a -1.
Well, you got Gold and Silver, so maybe -0.5?
I remember specifically that was for the Switch that I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
So I got a -0.5. Is that right? Is my math right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then finally, the defender here, Justin. So the first one is Zelda will be released on both Wii U and Switch before Q2, and it's going to be awesome. That's a +1. Congratulations.
That's a +3, what that is.
So the 2 classic systems will be released, the SNES Classic and handheld classics. I'll give you a +0.5 for that, I think. Is that fair?
That's fair.
The next one is Luigi's Mansion 3 will be announced. Yeah. Not for the 3D. Not sure if it's for the 3DS or the Switch. Probably the Switch. That's a -1.
No.
No Luigi's Mansion for you. And then this was considered our far out prediction. Nintendo will unify accounts, and you will need to purchase old Virtual Console games again for a discounted price. Considering that the Virtual Console did not happen, -1.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then finally, bonus round. Donkey Kong is on hiatus. Hey, look, +1. Donkey Kong did not get any. So, Justin, you are a +0.5 for this. And so this is the order of winning.
So even with my improved score, I'm still in last place.
Yes. Everybody, I think, did better predictions-wise last year. than the year before. So in fourth place,
we had more things to be hopeful about.
Yeah, in fourth place, Jesse with a -1, then me with a -0.5, then in second place, Justin with a +0.5, and in first place, Marty with a +2.5.
Turn on the fog machine and hit my music.
Yeah, cue that man's music.
Where's what do we got?
This lose the music already.
Here, we'll do this one again. There you go. Wait, I think I have a Mega Man version of that song. Maybe. Do I? I totally do. Here, where is it?
I'm gonna say I don't like Marty on the podcast anymore. Comes in, tells me, takes my spot essentially, tells me how much he hates Donkey Kong Country, and then rolls in and proceeds to take my championship belt that I own 2 years in a row off of his slack ass kind of predictions.
Those were not slack predictions.
I have serious quarrels here. You know what? I'm gonna start. Is there any other podcast that would like me to come over and join them full time? Jumping shit. I'm out of this garbage trash.
Wow. Here you go.
There we go.
This is actually a Mega Man version of the Street Fighter theme. So there you go. That sounds like you won the battle. Sure.
Yeah.
By the way, that is from the soundtrack to the Street Fighter Cross Mega Man game.
All I'm going to say is this. Is that the only way that these predictions happen was because like I'm on the show and it elevates my game. So, like a year before that, I didn't even have any Nintendo predictions.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, maybe 2018 will be the resurrection day.
Maybe it will, because I don't know that any of these that I've come up with for 2018 are.
So Zach, why don't you tell us how this is going to work?
Yeah, so basically last year we had this sort of like different kinds of rankings of predictions. That got a little bit confusing, and so we're just going to have straight up 5 predictions that you're banking for points, and then anything afterwards we can do like a non for points thing, if that makes sense. But so put your best 5 predictions forward, and those will be counted for points. Everything else will be just whatever. Marty is of course defending the crown. And yeah, so let's does that make sense? Anybody have any questions for that? I feel like over the years we're kind of perfecting this predictions model, so I like it.
The fact we only do it once a year is kind of a
it's been like 3.5
done it 3 times.
So are we gonna do it like where I make a prediction and somebody else makes a prediction and then round robin style?
We're gonna cycle through. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I think the champion has to lead us off.
I think so. I think Marty is the champion, so we will do that.
All right. I'm going to go make my first prediction here, and that is that in 2018, the 3DS will die.
What do you mean by die?
They will retire it.
As in no more games. Are they going to officially announce that?
Production. They will they will announce that production is ramping down and that games will no longer be made.
And that will be an official announcement.
There's going to be some kind of official announcement that seals the fate of the 3DS in 2018.
I would like to follow up Marty's prediction if I could.
Okay.
My prediction is that in 2018, the Nintendo 3DS is not dead, and that you will see more 3DS games and no official announcement from any capacity. And as a matter of fact, you will have like 1 or 2 more big surprise games that we're going to want to play in 2018, similar to something like how Metroid was a surprise and we all put down our Switches for a couple weeks to play it.
Yeah.
Would you say lots of new games, or how are you phrasing this?
I'm saying a couple, like 1 or 2 big titles that would make us say like, hey, I'll play.
Okay.
So I'm saying Nintendo 3DS not dead in 2018.
So I have a 3DS prediction that's kind of the conglomeration of both of those. I said 2018 will be the final year of support from Nintendo, which means, I think there will be more games coming out and announced and released, but that by the end of the calendar year, that's it. But I think third parties and smaller eShop games still may trickle into 2019, but nothing at that point. Nothing from Nintendo.
Okay, so do you think that that they're going to have an official announcement? Do you want to take a stance on that either way?
Not necessarily official announcements, other than if they announce a game in 2019, then I'm wrong.
If they announce a game,
if a Nintendo published game is announced for 2019, then I'm wrong. That's
2019.
Yeah, so I'm saying they'll we know there's games coming out in 2018, and then I'm still expecting surprises for 2018. But I think at December 2018, I think that's it from Nintendo. Again, third parties will still do what third parties do, but I think at that point Nintendo's cutting it off and going to with. Well,
and the thing is like your statement that the eShop will be supported. This isn't me with a prediction. I'm just kind of commenting on this too. But like, again, I honestly feel like I feel like
still see Wii U games are coming out on eShop.
But the thing is like we have good info that these are not. I can't. And maybe I'm remembering that this is information that was not. Whatever. Anyway. There is no way that anybody is making, especially indies, are making any money on the eShop. There is no freaking way that they're doing that, and it's worth their time. But given the numbers that I've heard on how much things have sold on that eShop, even more recent games, there is no way that anybody's making.
I forget which the game it was, but that was a game that was released on 3DS that just didn't do anything because everyone wanted it on the Switch. What's that?
Chicken Wiggle.
Yeah,
Chicken Wiggle.
That one.
Chicken Wiggle for sure did. Yeah, and
Chicken Wiggle. Yeah.
And just
I'm just saying that other third parties may still do things, but I'm thinking at that point Nintendo isn't going to do anything after 2018.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, so I guess that's all three of you making a prediction so far. Wow, why did I write this as a prediction? I'm not even putting this in here. But I'll say
now we want to hear it.
Directs will continue on a quarterly basis.
Hi, my name is Zach, and I want easy points so that I can win next year. I will also predict that the air is good and water is good for you.
Okay, so here's my actual first prediction. Fire Emblem for the Switch
garbage
is going to be a tentpole game in the
Why
first.
would they do that?
Dude, I didn't talk during your prediction. Okay?
Yeah, but mine was smart.
You feel like the Fire Emblem Switch being a tentpole game in the first half of the year is a bad prediction? Is that what you're saying, Justin?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You think that's not going to happen, or you think that you personally are not going to this game?
Both. And 1 year from now, we'll tell you how wrong you are. You can listen back to this and be like, Justin was right, but I won't tell him he's right.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, just to kind of follow up with a little bit more of this, that is a game that was announced. Wasn't it like the week after? Was it the week after?
It was announced during the Switch event.
No, it was, yeah, that's right. And then they had the Fire Emblem Direct the week after the Switch event, where they announced that a Fire Emblem game was being made for the Switch. So we've known about this game for a year now. So I think that is reasonable to see this.
Well, and we also know that Fates was the last, or not Fates, Shadows of
Valentia
was the last one for the 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
That they said that it's done.
So Zach, is your prediction here more just about the timing and the importance of it?
Yes, exactly. So I think first half of the year, and it's going to be a tent pole. But what I mean by that is that, last year the tent poles would have been Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart, Zelda, Splatoon, ARMS, whatever, right? Like Xenoblade.
Well,
it'll be one of the.
Aren't all first the Nintendo developed games that are therefore tentpole games?
Fair enough. Yeah, but I would say it's
even though this is Intelligent Systems instead of, but still it's second party.
Yeah, but Nintendo promotes it like it's the first.
It's about exactly. So I would say, and I'm also going to say that it's going to be really good. That it's going to be, I feel like this may be a tired comparison, but I think that like the Zelda to Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey to Mario, like I think that this is going to continue that trend, where they take the opportunity to really update the franchise a little bit and take a good look at it and streamline it a little bit, add some nice polish, and also, yeah, I guess maybe I'll add on to here too. This is probably a pretty safe one too, but there will be an expansion pass because they've done
wet.
Yeah, they've done a lot of updates. They've done DLC, Fire Emblem since the beginning, so that's a pretty safe one too. So yeah. So back to you, Marty. I'm gonna put this in order. We gotta bring this. So I think we're going in order of correctness, if that makes sense, or of the rank order from last time. So it will go you, then Justin, then me, then Jesse.
Okay.
No, Jesse, but so. Okay, Marty, go ahead. Number 2.
So I'm going to go out on a limb with the second prediction, since Justin is making fun of predictions that were like air is good. Well, here's one that's not air is good. I think we're going to get F-Zero in the fall.
Ooh.
For the Switch.
The fall for Switch. All right, say more. Or I don't want to.
I don't know. I picked up this book today. Actually, it was on sale on Amazon last week, and it just came in today. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's the book that Nintendo released with the Super Nintendo Classic. It's called Now You're Playing with Superpower, and it's actually published by Prima. And in here, there's just some spotlights on games, and there's all these really cool 16 bits about games that you may not know or didn't make it in there, and they do this whole thing on F-Zero. And I was just thinking about how cool it would be to have a brand new F-Zero, seeing as how the last official game in the series was not even released in North America. It was a Game Boy Advance game released in 2004 called F-Zero Climax, and it was Japan only. And Nintendo is
was Bayonetta a driver?
Very possible with that name. The Nintendo has been pretty keen on reviving franchises, it seems, with the Switch, and I think it's just how cool that would be, because I don't think we're getting another Mario Kart anytime soon. So there needs to be some other kind of first-party racing game coming out. And it's definitely not going to be freaking Diddy Kong Racing, because that game sucks. So F-Zero in the fall. It's going to be the big fall game. Black Friday.
Nice. Right on. So fall, the Black Friday game, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you know how they have that big release every year around that time, and what was it? This past year was Xenoblade, right? First week of December.
It was it would have been Mario Odyssey was the end of October, and then I guess
they kind of skipped the big November release this year.
Skyrim, I guess, kind of was. Right?
That's kind of end of October to 1st of December. It's going to be somewhere in there.
They kind of let Pokemon take that for the 3DS.
They did. Yeah, so you're right.
Are you saying Q4?
Yeah.
Okay, Q4.
Yeah, end of the year, fallish end of the year. I don't know.
We'll say Q4-ish. All right. Cool. All right, Justin, what's your number 2?
I'm kind of taking marks off of how Marty leads, and then that's skewing my next questions, I think, from thematical perspective. I'm going to take a wild card here for games that we do not know are in existence in any context, but maybe hope. And I'm going to do a repeat from 2017, and I hope for Luigi's Mansion.
All right.
I'm totally on board with that, Justin. I hope that it happens.
Yeah, I don't really necessarily know when. Maybe it's an announcement in 2017, maybe, but I just I think if we're talking about reviving franchises, which is again I think kind of the theme you went for, I think Luigi's Mansion could use some love, because I don't think Luigi's Mansion's really found a place to live yet. It's gone from GameCube to 3DS, but it feels like it missed the Wii. GameCube, it missed the Wii U, missed the Wii. Feels like it could definitely be a good home for the Switch.
So you're saying it will be announced for sure, but not necessarily released.
Correct. Announced. If it's released, grand. But I think it's going to be announced, but not released.
It could end up being one of those games similar to what Kirby and Yoshi were last year, where it's announced at E3, maybe they show it off a little bit, and then
it's early 2019 or whatever. Yeah, but at least announced, I guess, is the word I'm going to say there.
Okay, cool. I'm going to follow this theme then. As far as game series that have not been announced for the Switch, I'm going to say Mario Party will be released on the Switch this year. Because
is it going to suck? That should be your other.
So is it going to be numerically?
That should be your counter
incremented
question.
To be like 12.
Yeah, you know what I think they should do? Honestly, at this point, I think they should simply reboot it as Mario Party.
Mario Party. I'm not going to. Yeah, it's technically it would be Mario Party 11, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But
yeah.
because the reception to 10 was so pitiful.
Wasn't 11 on
I think
the
it's
Wii U?
like reimagine it, get back to player board, the board game style, not everybody riding in the same stupid buggy thing, and just call it Mario Party.
Yeah, I think that there will be a high focus on. Maybe I'll put it this way: is that it will have a focus, whether this is in the marketing or in the game design, I'm not sure, but it will have a focus on the portable nature of the Switch, in a way that because basically if you have your Switch, you literally could lay it down on the table and you could all play it on the table, right? And maybe
some of the mini games could be like 1-2 Switch like activities with Joy-Con.
Yeah. Well, I think. Games such as Party Planet and Overcooked and Sniffer Clips, 1-2 Switch. All these games are kind of showing them how it should be done, right? And then you even throw in something like the Monopoly, right on top of that. All these games are showing you how this system can be done as a multiplayer, take anywhere fun device, which is what Mario Party should be. So. That'd be cool. I know. It's a great idea, Zach. This is my time in the show. You can timestamp this at nearly 1 hour and 10 minutes. Then I'm complimenting you. Well done. I think it's a good idea.
That's.
I'd also be interested in playing that, and I agree with Marty. We should reboot it completely.
Yeah,
burn the whole thing down and just restart.
Yep, I agree. I'm gonna write that in my journal tonight, Justin. Thank you.
Dear journal.
Dear diary. Justin said something really nice to me tonight. All right. I for some reason sound like the big, huge guy on Goonies when I write in my diary. So anyway.
I have won 2018 now.
Hey, you guys.
Dear diary. Okay, Jesse.
I have two games that I say I'm going to be released this fall, so I'll go with the. I will go with the one that probably won't. It'll be the least likely one, just to be daring. So with the rumors of paid online being delayed further, Smash 5 for this fall to correspond with the newly launched paid online.
Smash Brothers. Okay, so when you say Smash Brothers 5,
not a 4 remix, but a new game.
Not a 4 remix.
Or a remix of the Wii U 3DS versions. Yeah, not that. But
and when are you saying for?
Sorry?
When are you saying? What time frame?
Fall, so probably that November slot. And I think that will be the big game to kick off the paid online.
Okay.
Because really, any other game will make the paid online feel not as significant.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Especially since they missed the Splatoon belt.
So basically, is part of your prediction that there is a that the online thing is launching with that, or no?
Yes, let's go there.
Yeah. All right.
Let's say yes.
Okay, so online service will have the official announcement.
Or just say paid online. Paid online required to play out.
Oh, paid online.
Yeah,
so not
paid. Paid online.
Oh wow. Okay. So this is going to be the first. Okay, that makes sense. All right. Marty, going back to you. Number 3 prediction, good sir.
Game Boy Classic by the end of the year.
I'm just going to... By the end of the year?
Yeah. Let's just word it like we did the Game Boy Classic in 2017.
There he goes again.
Justin, when you sigh like that, dude, it is super loud and...
Oh, sorry.
It means I've angered him.
Yeah.
Or made him more grumpy.
I wonder if am I catching on this mic or this mic, I wonder.
I think it might actually still be your headphone mic. You might want to check your settings.
Yeah, I'm going to check that right now. Sorry, guys.
No, it's fine. So you're saying Game Boy Classic in 2018?
Or yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to add to that or not really? That's fine.
No, I think it's going to be with the success of the NES and the SNES that it's going to be like Nintendo's first portable one of these, and I think it'll see some improvements. And I wouldn't quote this, but like maybe the Game Boy when it originally came out had the light version that came out in Japan that had like the green glow that you could turn on around the screen.
Yep.
Where you could see it better. I would say probably with a, even if it is the Game Boy, it might have a backlit screen. I hesitate to say that because of the faithfulness to the classic line that they've tried to have, but I just don't think that a non-backlit screen would fly in 2018.
I actually have the exact same thing down as just Game Boy Classic in 2018, so I'm just going to say it now. The thing is that my biggest question mark with this is the screen, like because with the other two they were so faithful to the feel, I guess, and they had like those CRT filters and all that sort of stuff. But I wonder, like, if you don't have, if I turn on a Game Boy Classic and I don't have that like exact dot matrix screen there with the little like contrast ratio slider on the side that you got to fiddle with to find the sweet spot, all of that sort of stuff. I guess it's not entirely necessary, but they're going to end up like it's not going to feel as authentic as some of the other ones. I guess the actual feel of the full Game Boy. I think you're right, Marty. I think they're going to end up.
A lot of that is the limitations of the hardware at the time, and the only reason why you really needed that contrast slider is when the battery started getting a little bit low.
I know that's the deal, man.
The screen then wasn't as bright, or the pixels weren't as dark, so you had to crank that thing up to make them darker. So,
absolutely.
And then and then you forgot to reset it when you put the new batteries in. It's like, this is all black. I can't see anything now.
Yeah. Give me an option to switch to that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think there'll be some modes to emulate the greenness and the pixelness, but it's still going to have a standard screen.
Because like part of the nostalgia for me too is if I don't get to, and I know they're not actually going to do this, but there's this very specific feeling of, oh crap, my batteries are running out. How much more battery juice can I get by turning that contrast ratio all the way down and literally playing Pokemon until I cannot see the sprites on the screen anymore, because then I'm going to have to go and ask for new batteries from my parents. Like that was a game that I constantly played with myself as a kid. So we're not going to get that from that. But how would you see like local wireless play then for stuff like Pokemon as opposed to like the wire? Remember how they used that wire you used to connect? Do you think that all just becomes the Game Link thing? It just becomes wireless kind of? And I guess by doing that, that definitely increased the price. I think that I wouldn't be surprised if they just did like a sort of USB connector or just an actual connector that was. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know how they would do that.
Because those are been traditionally hard to emulate, even with the Game Boy emulators going back 20 years.
Well, how did the new Pokemon do it with when it was on the 3DS?
It was local wireless.
Yeah, but they actually had to rewrite the code to make it happen.
Yeah, but I guess like how many games had that? I would have that problem. Like the original Tetris?
No, there was quite a few. I think.
Was there?
Yeah, there was. I think
a tennis game. There was a racing game.
Baseball had it. Quite a few games. You'd be surprised, actually. There were quite a few games that were.
Tetris even had it, right?
Yeah, Tetris had a versus mode. There were a lot of different games that had.
See, I would love to see them do that because they've removed the original Tetris from the eShop. It's no longer there.
Yeah.
And so I would love to have that on that. Because, I mean, you can't have a Game Boy Classic without having that version of Tetris.
Yeah, it's a matter of whether they want to pay the license again.
That's true.
You know what? The amount of money that they would make for making a Game Boy with Tetris on it, are you kidding me? How many people would go out and buy that? It's insane. No
doubt Nintendo would make a lot of money. It's just Nintendo's also paying out a lot of money.
The question that we need to ask in this, and I guess this is probably the classic console that would have the most variables. I think that we would have to wade through to get which version we're getting. Are we going to get the old school Game Boy? Or are we going to get the Game Boy Pocket? Are we going to get the Game Boy Color? Are they going to roll all of those into one?
I'm gonna just up the ante a little bit with my prediction, and no pressure either way for you, Marty. But I am going to say Game Boy Classic in 2018. The only way I'm going to complicate that at all is to say it will have Tetris. That's just something that I cannot see them releasing this thing and not having Tetris on it. So that's the only other thing I'll add to that.
Let you have that one.
Yeah. All right, Justin, let's go back to you. What is your third prediction, Goodson?
I had a prediction for the Classics line as well, but it was the Classic line continues into 2018, but I was skewed between whether it be an N64 or a GameCube.
We also know the NES Classic is coming back in 2018.
Yeah, that's it's a variable that we were what I meant by it continues is they put something new out, right? Whether it's the GameCube the N64 or the Game Boy. I think it's going to be you know what? I'm going to go for a variant against you guys just because I think you're kind of predicting the same thing. I'm going to say the N64 Classic.
All right.
I'm going to make this statement here. Maybe you want to put asterisks. I do believe that you're both right in that it's going to be the GameCube the Game Boy, but I'm going to I'm going to bet on the other hand and think it's the N64. Does that make sense?
All right. Yeah.
Also, is my audio coming in better now?
Yes. Way better.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah. So N64 Classic will launch in 2018, but he really thinks it's the Game Boy.
Yeah, caveat, I'm pretty sure I'm wrong, but I don't want to.
Game Boy, but 3 votes the same is boring.
I think you guys are going to lock it up, to be honest, but I also just as an FYI point, I think it's going to be the Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy Color all wrapped into one package. The moment it moves to the DS, that's when we start getting into the clamshell different ones.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe this is not a prediction, but I'm kind of thinking it might do Game Boy Color, but not Advance. They might do that as a separate unit later, just because it was so huge.
And not only that, but I think that
despite Nintendo trying to kill it early,
they're gonna if you do the Game Boy Advance, you sacrifice some of the nostalgia factor because the Game Boy Advance actually had a wider aspect ratio.
That's right.
And so,
right.
So that's going to be screwed with it. So I think we could get color. I think that's possible.
Yeah, okay. I think it'll be color compatible.
Mm-hmm. But you'll also have an option. So, for example, just like in the original Game Boy, if you took a Game Boy Color game, or if you took a Game Boy Color compatible game, a lot of them you could still play it in the original Game Boy.
Yeah.
And you'll have
I know we're kind of going down a rabbit hole. I'm going to ask one other question. Do you guys think it will be as thick as the original Game Boy? And do you think they'll try and make it the same weight?
I think that it will have a rechargeable battery pack in the space but it'll also be like a Game Boy Color. So they'll have maybe you'll have a couple different SKUs. There'll be the original gray sort of look, and they'll also maybe have I would love if they had an atomic purple.
What, maybe that's how they would end up releasing it, is just like this Classic, or sorry, the SNES. North America gets the gray, and EU and Japan gets the purple.
The clear purple one.
Yeah. I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah, that's true.
It wouldn't surprise me if it's one. It wouldn't surprise me.
I really want that gray one.
Mm-hmm. It wouldn't surprise me if it's more like the Game Boy Pocket oriented.
Yeah,
they can still fit a good sized battery into that design.
Yeah, which again is the same as the Game Boy Color, right? Like that was this almost the exact same. I think they probably used the exact same.
Pocket was thinner.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I owned a Pocket before the Color came out, and it definitely.
Okay.
And it had a bigger screen as well. They shrunk the screen again when the Color launched.
Oh, cool. Okay. All right, Jesse, what is your number 3 prediction?
I actually came prepared. I had 11 predictions. So it's hard to pick which one I want to say now. Let's say Metroid Prime 4 will be talked about, but will end up being pushed into 2019, probably that May, June, early E3 slot. So talked about and announced, but not released yet.
Well, a Metroid Prime 4 will not be released in 2018. Okay. Cool.
So it'll have E3 time, etc. But I don't think it'll be released yet. Not until next year.
Okay. Alrighty. Anything else you want to add to that, or no?
Not to that one, no.
Okay. Marty, what's your number 4?
That the third-party floodgates will fully open in 2018.
Okay.
I think that Nintendo's momentum coming out of 2017 is going to be infectious, and we're going to see even big-name third-party developers who have doubted and even kind of been down on the Switch in the last year are going to have to begrudgingly get on board because the success is undeniable.
Are you calling out a specific company?
I'm calling out several specific companies without mentioning their names.
That was my question.
All right.
But I'm gonna add.
We know who you are.
I'm going to up the ante with this, and I'm going to add one specific game to this that is going to make a certain member of this podcast extremely happy, and that is that along with this happening, we will see Overwatch on the Nintendo Switch in 2018.
Oh, here I thought you were going to say
in some form.
Here I thought you were going to say Persona 5, but I guess you weren't talking about me.
No.
Dude, if you're right, I will. Yes, I will kiss you on the mouth. That's how excited I will be. I don't know if I'll actually do that, but that's how excited I'll be.
I was thinking about what my response to that was going to be.
You're like, oh wait, what? But yes,
you're going to do what?
Yeah. And I also put in here, I'm going to delete it, but I said Marty will poop his ever-loving pants when Mega Man 11 comes out. I don't know what that means. I've been spending too much time.
Well, that's a great prediction because it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. There'll be a +1 for anybody who puts it.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to go to the store and buy the game and some pins.
And as he's playing, honey, get in here! I gotta keep playing. Okay. I'm going off the rails here. I've been spending too much time around kids who say nothing but poop jokes. Justin, save me from myself. What's your number 4 prediction?
It's almost as if you're reading like right off of my playbook, because mine was also that the third-party floodgates will absolutely open, and everyone is going to show up basically saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry." But I mean it's also based on the fact that Nintendo released their PR statement this week and announced that basically we'll be seeing more of it. I'm going to counter you. I don't believe it's going to be Overwatch is coming. Is that part of your prediction, or are you saying you're not going to predict it? No, I'm going to say, my prediction is Overwatch is not coming. I don't know what to. I think maybe more from Bethesda.
Okay, are you including like we already know Wolfenstein's coming?
Like, are you talking about other previous games like a Fallout 4 or something like that, or like whatever the new thing is, it will be on Switch too.
Here's what I'm going to say. Third parties are going to be happy to throw back catalogs at us.
Okay, so specifically,
I think Capcom has already said as much.
example, Fallout 4.
Okay.
GTA 5. That's another. These are examples, right, of just like back catalogs that are thrown. Not like, hey, this is the new hotness.
My kids would love to play GTA on their Switch. In fact, they both play it on their PS4s, but would rather play it on the Switch.
I guess my if I can bundle another part to that is that you will also see third parties announce games saying also coming to the Switch.
That's just going to be a thing from now on.
Yeah, it's gonna be a thing now. Whereas opposed to used to be like maybe the Wii U, possibly, hopefully. This will also be also coming to the Switch.
Yeah. I think that's already starting to happen actually. Like that Street Fighter collection that's coming out this year on all platforms, it's just coming the same day as on the Switch, right? So
well, I mean, you think about it, right? I mean, that was the conversation with the whole Capcom thing, right? They're like every platform, including the Switch, right? It's kind of like we're going to call it out specifically because that's what everyone wants to know. And I think when you see the sales numbers like we did,
because third parties literally pretended the Wii U didn't exist.
Yeah.
So they have to remind us that we know Nintendo's a thing.
Yeah, and then the other one, and they sat back cautiously, right? They sat back cautiously for the first year. Their first year is over. We should be expecting more from them. You have other ones who have dipped their toe in, right? So you look at Bethesda with Doom and with Skyrim and that kind of stuff, and I think that it's just making sense for them. And obviously Ubisoft with Mario and Rabbids. So I think you're going to see a lot more third parties.
Yeah.
Well, isn't Payday coming out in February this month or next month?
Have they announced a date for that?
I think it's February. Payday 2.
Yeah, they did they had a release date for it not long ago.
Yeah, Wolfenstein is soon too, isn't it? Wolfenstein 2.
It just says 2018 actually.
Oh, was it 2018? Okay.
Yeah.
Payday 2 was originally slotted for winter 2017, so that didn't happen yet.
Well, Constructor was originally was supposed to be a launch title. February 27th is Payday 2.
Yeah. Zach, what do you got?
Oh, okay. Is it?
All right. So my number 4 prediction is going to be that Pokemon will come out in some form on the Switch in 2018, but it may not be what you're looking for. And so what I'm saying is that either the actual full title game is going to come out, but if that doesn't come out, they will release something else instead that will have the Pokemon branding on it. Because I don't think that they can stand not being on the Switch this year. So it's either going to be, the Pokemon, I don't know, like Vomit and whatever, or it will be what's an alternate version of Vomit?
Throw up,
barf,
spit up.
No, like if we've got Sun and Moon, like Vomit and I don't know,
diarrhea.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, Vomit.
You heard it here, folks. Pokemon potty humor.
Yeah, Pokemon Vomit and Pokemon Diarrhea version. So and there's going to be new. You can just imagine the new Pokemon that are going to be in that game. So it's either going to be that, or it's going to be something like Pokemon Buddy Farm or something like that. Maybe it'll be something that like ties into the Pokemon Bank that lets you watch your Pokemon wander around on the Switch or something like that. But they're
basically what you're saying is the Pokemon equivalent of Animal Crossing Plaza for the Wii U.
Yes, exactly.
So just to tighten up your prediction here, Zach, you're just saying Pokemon will make a presence on the Nintendo Switch in some capacity in 2018.
Yeah, it might, and I'll say it might not be
might not be good.
The full version, the full RPG, but it'll still be there. Yeah. So, yeah, because I don't think there's no way that they can leave that until 2019. So there's too many people who are excited about that. So, all right, Jesse.
Yeah, I'm not going to count this as my prediction, but I also said Pokemon for Switch in sometime this fall. What I do want to use for my prediction is Dragon Quest XI will get announced for Switch, but won't be day and date with the PS4 3DS versions.
Okay. That's not out yet, right? I don't know this.
It's not out in North America anywhere. No, it's out in Japan, but not here. We know it's coming for PS4 and 3DS. We just don't know when.
Okay. Very cool. Dragon Quest XI will be announced for Switch, but it won't be day and date with other platforms. Anything else, or is that it? We're good?
All right. I don't think I can elaborate on that any further.
Cool. Marty, what is your final banked prediction?
It is going to be that Nintendo will let us down at some point in 2018. The hype will not match what they deliver. I guess that's a kind of a vague way of saying that that particularly the Switch hype train will begin to slow down in 2018.
So, like reality, like we're going to come back to reality a little bit?
Yeah.
This would be like Wii Year 4.
Okay. The Switch hype train.
Yeah, I just think that they... And the reason I say that is a kind of a way of managing expectations, which we talk about often here on this show, that they knocked it out of the park so hard in 2017. What do they have to do in 2018 to top that? And I don't know that they can top it. I think they can match it, but I don't think they can top it.
Oh, I don't even think they can match it. But
there's going to be some people who are upset.
Yeah,
if they have a Pokemon and Animal Crossing game come out in the same holiday season, then that might be enough to.
And Fire Emblem.
And Fire Emblem this year, like it might not be like those sound like more niche titles, but like Anyway, so
nothing can beat or even match Zelda and Mario, but I think the combination of IPs that they do have access to will make us. Will make most people happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry. So, Marty, what you're saying, what I've written here is Nintendo will let us down at some point in 2018. The Switch hype train will slow. Is that how you want to phrase that?
That'll do.
Okay. That'll do, Pig.
And I hate saying that. Like, that's painful to say to me. But again, managing expectations.
Mm-hmm. One of my predictions also has to deal with disappointment, but I'm not going to use that one. But
all right, cool. Justin,
this is a little bit of a combination of managing expectations. I believe we will not get Metroid Prime 4 in 2018, but Nintendo will provide a Metroid Prime trilogy game that you can download or pick up at your local shop. It's going to be like an easy kind of like, hey, you might have missed all this awesomeness. It's kind of like it's basically repurposing what they have on the Switch, but as a cartridge or as a download. And that's going to be, but here's the thing: you will hear about Metroid Prime 4 in 2018, whether it's at E3 or Direct, but you will not get it in 2018. It will be a 2019 game. But Nintendo will supplement that by saying, hey, here's a Metroid. The Metroid, it may be called the Metroid Collection, which is all the Prime games and Metroid Other M added into a cart or something for some kind of bundle. That's all.
I would love for them to do that.
Also, I'll kind of even throw this one out as a bit of a just sweetening the pot. So this may be a 2018 or 2019 that when Metroid SKU is finally locked in, you are going to see either Joy-Con or Pro Controller announced.
Okay. Will be announced. All right. Cool. And now, is this something? Here's my confusion with your announcement, Justin, or with your prediction. You're saying that it will not arrive in 2018, but by the time that we go over our predictions, the Joy-Con or Pro Controller will be announced.
Yeah, like Yes, like I feel like it's going to be kind of a bundled up. Like, hey, in February of 2019, you'll be playing Metroid Prime 4. By the way, the announcement's going to include like new Pro Controller, Joy-Con, one of those two, and the game or whatever.
Similar to what they did with Splatoon.
Yeah, similar to Splatoon or even ARMS or basically any of their major tentpole games. Here's a hint or trend. Any of their major tentpole games are getting console, like either Joy-Cons or Pro Controllers.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Nice. Right on. Okay, so my last prediction, a little bit of what you're saying, Justin, but also a little bit of something else instead. So what I'm going to predict is that Animal Crossing for the Switch will come out this year. And also that they are going to release Joy-Cons. I don't know how specific I want to be. I'm just going to say Joy-Cons will be released. And I'm also, this is not part of my prediction, but what I want them to do is to release Joy-Cons. You guys remember that new 3DS or the 3DS, the white one, that had the little symbols all over it? You guys remember that? Let's see if I can find a picture of it. I basically want I want them to do the Joy-Con version. I'm just going to put it in our Skype chat so you guys can see it. This is just a Google image search. But I want them to do the Joy-Con version of this 3DS because that would be amazing. I would be all over
that you putting that in there, that is kind of like the Animal Crossing print now. Because don't you get that in Pocket Camp after signing in for so many days to skin your van with?
Yes, exactly. So I want them to make Joy-Cons exactly like that, where it's got like the little apple and the little house and the heart or the leaf, right? Like all of those. I'm not going to predict specifically that will be the pattern, but those are the ones that I think that they will release. And I think that it will come out and it will have connection. I made this prediction last year. I think I'm going to stick with it with the timing. There will be some connection to the mobile game.
I want them to come out with a Joy-Con grip and Joy-Cons that look like Isabelle's face.
like the similar sort of like just totally lean into the Switch dog face thing.
Yeah, totally lean in. And then, or actually, you know what? Just make it a new character and make it like the person that greets you when you get to your town.
And it's just a dog with a Switch control, like Switch grip face.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yes.
I want them to
call
have
him Swoof.
Swoof welcomes you. Yeah, and that's awesome.
You just imagine seeing that on the screen. It's like, it's all slang.
That's awesome. And he's just like, kill me, please. Like, that would be his, you can like give them their individual sort of catchphrase in the game. Like, that's just what his would be. Kill me now. Right on. Okay, Jesse, what is your final prediction? Final banked prediction.
All right, this is kind of like the aiming high one. Said they will announce a GameCube Virtual Console, which will require either the purchase of a special Joy-Con to give the proper shoulder buttons, or the purchase of a Switch-branded GameCube adapter similar to what Wii U had with Smash. So, like, one of those devices will be required to play the games. Not all GameCube games obviously need it, but some games that do will require one of these things. Like Sunshine would need one of these.
I think technically you probably, people have already used the Switch, the GameCube adapter on the Switch, right? So if you had one, you could use
but they would have to re-release it because there isn't any out there right now.
Right. Okay.
And so if they're re-releasing it, they might as well Switch brand it instead of having all of them Wii U branded.
Yeah. Okay. So what I have written here is GameCube Virtual Console will require released and will require special Joy-Con with analog shoulder buttons or a GameCube adapter. Is that?
Yeah.
Wow, that is a bold prediction.
You're welcome.
I like it. Right on. So now we can kind of go in for any final sort of bonus predictions. Let's start with you, Marty.
I only have one, and that is that the virtual console games will debut in 2018 and will be downloadable on demand.
Are we talking like a Netflix thing?
Yeah. Like what is it? PlayStation View? Is that what?
Now.
Is that how they do that? Or
PlayStation Go?
PlayStation Now. That's it.
Yeah, View is.
Yeah,
like
it's gonna follow that model.
PlayStation Now. No, isn't PlayStation Now actually streamed over online?
Yeah,
it's that's download them.
Yeah, but I think Nintendo is going to take a different turn with it because of the portability of the Switch.
And how small
I think it's going to be a hybrid of PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus. So if you basically what it's going to be is if you've got it, you download it. As long as you keep your subscription up, that game will stay downloaded on your Switch if you want it to, unless you delete it. But if it checks at any time and your subscription's not up to date, it automatically deletes those games.
So essentially, Apple Music.
Yeah.
PS Plus is what it sounds like, right? Like,
yeah.
I think that's the closest similarity. Okay.
I don't think it's, and here's why I say that. I don't think it's going to be like, here's your 3 games for the month. I think there will be a selection of titles.
Yeah.
That are available, and it might just start with NES games.
No, is this
that have that extra online mode or whatever, and it may just be 3 to start with, but I don't think those 3 will rotate out like people think, or people once thought. If it's available, it's available.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I also think let me sweeten the pot with that one further. I also think that will come with a large user interface upgrade for the Switch.
All right.
That's all going to be together. Like I think that's going to be
not just the eStop. You're talking the whole Switch.
I'm talking that because there'll have to be. Well, I won't say there have to be, but I would love there to be like folders and things where I can, put my virtual console games and. Yeah.
Put all our the games that I still need to review. To review. So you still need to review this game. What are you doing? Yeah, that would be nice to have a folder for that.
So what are you thinking for the subscription? Like the same subscription as the paid online, or similar to what?
I think it'll be all inclusive.
Okay, because I
think when they ask you to pay that cost, what was the cost that we had determined?
I think $20 a year.
20 or 30,
yeah, 20 or 30 bucks a year. And look, guys, let's be honest, that price may even change by the time that they get around to finally telling us what's up, since they pushed it back.
I wouldn't be surprised if they had a 2-tier system where it's like just for
you can play online with one, or you can play online and get virtual console.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. I think that's good. Yeah, so I think we're gonna see that in 2018.
Because the way Sony does it, they have the PS Plus to play online and to get a few free games a month, and then they have the PS Now, which is the streaming service, which is mostly PS3 games, but a few other PS2s in there. Those are separate services with their own separate pricing. In fact, PS Now is like twice as much as PS Plus, and I think that's way too much for what it is. If it was cheaper, I probably would have done it, but I never bid on that because it was so expensive.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Justin, do you have any bonus predictions?
I have a couple, but we'll kind of do round robin style. I believe the amiibos will start going quietly into that good night, so we're going to see less amiibos. Probably, I'm going to actually throw a number on this. We're going to see less than 10 new amiibos announced for 2018.
Okay, do you have any specific ones that you think we will see them for?
Probably Yoshi would be, I think, a low-hanging fruit on that one. Any other games that we definitely know are announced? I would just say Yoshi for sure will have one. But I think like
Mario. I think
if there's a Mario Party, there's probably an amiibo. But
you know what? If they do, I really
they're leaning away from the importance of amiibo.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's why I said you're like I just don't know what else they've predicted in the year, but I just think it's gonna be less than 10. I mean, even right now this year I think was just over 10.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So I'm going to make one bonus here. I'm going to say that we are going to get a Zelda game in 2018. Although it's not going to be a sequel to Breath of the Wild. It's going to be like a top-down Zelda.
Isn't that the big rumor right now on the 3DS?
What's that?
That's the big rumor right now. It's actually gonna be on the 3DS. It's in the same vein as A Link to the Past and Link Between Worlds.
If they do that on the freaking 3DS, dude, I'm gonna be pissed.
Well, some tweets I saw this morning. Nintendo's
on the Switch is what I'm saying.
Yeah, Nintendo is going to journalists who did reviews for Link Between Worlds and asking permission to use some of their quotes from the review from the game from 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably where that rumor is coming from. And
you think we're going to see a re-release of that on the Switch?
No, I saw other rumors that were kind of supporting that it's going to be a whole brand new separate game on the 3DS, not on the Switch.
True, oh my gosh, dude! If that's true, I'm going to be so pissed.
Yeah,
which is why I think the 3DS is not dead.
Damn it! No, I don't want that at all. I don't want any more first-party awesome games on the freaking 3DS.
I don't think we'll ever see it as an eShop only Zelda game.
Maybe that's maybe it's a little. Okay, maybe it is a less than $60.
I think that could be fair.
You know, kind of backpacking off of that. You know what I would love for them to do is take that. I don't know if you guys ever have read or heard about the satellite internet or the Satellaview Zelda series that they did in Japan. You had to connect to, and you could only download it for a certain set period of time and play through the levels. I would love it if they would translate that, and I would play that on my 3DS. But if it's anything more than that, I don't want a top-down Zelda game on the 3DS. I don't want a Zelda game at all on the 3DS. I think if they put a Zelda game on the 3DS, they're freaking crazy.
Yeah, but did they put a new Metroid game on the 3DS?
Yeah, but that is totally
crazy.
You know what though? The difference between that is that they've got. I tell you, I'm calling this now is that if they put a Zelda game on the 3DS, the Zelda franchise right now is on such a high with Breath of the Wild becoming, it's game of the year everywhere. Putting any Zelda game on the 3DS in 2018 is going to sour the Zelda brand. They're going to say, what is Nintendo doing with their Zelda franchise? What are they doing? It's going to put a ton of people off, and I think that is a terrible, terrible idea for a whole host of reasons. And I think that it is greedy for them to try and keep this dying 3DS platform alive any longer, especially using the Zelda franchise to keep it alive. I think that is ill-advised. So anyway, I'm going to say that game is going to be on the Switch, and I'm going to say it's going to be in the second half. I originally said Q4. I'll say second half of 2018.
I love the fact that we're predicted to get a direct here in a week from now, and these could all be shot to hell. Yep. Everything we said in less than a week.
The only way that 3DS game is even remotely a good idea is if it's an eShop exclusive game. If it's a smaller game that's oh look, it's just some random BS, then maybe
it's just going to be Triforce Heroes 2.
Oh God.
Kill me now. Jesse, do you have any bonus?
Yeah, I have a few other things. I said for Virtual Console, I said no matter what no matter what form this finally gets announced in, we'll be disappointed.
Disappointing. Yeah. Okay.
I have a few other ones too. If we're round robbing bonuses, I'll let Justin go.
All right, Marty. Do you have any other ones, or was that it?
No, that was it.
All right, Justin.
The Switch app will not get better.
I like it. All right. So do you think they're going to keep adding to it, though? Let's talk about the Switch app for a minute. Right now, you literally go into it, and it is a Nintendo Switch branded app. You go into it, and there is a way to add friends, and is there even a way to add friends? And then there's the Splatoon icon. Do we literally just see another icon show up when it gets updated?
I would have thought they would have updated with ARMS or Mario Kart. At this point, I can't think of another online multiplayer game that would encourage that level of voice chat.
Smash?
Maybe.
Smash is just people screaming at each other, though. You don't have to coordinate, right?
Yeah, like I think if there was I don't know. I don't think it's gonna get better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I actually have an online service prediction. I said that it will be. I've kind of been dinking around in the stock here. So I said that the online service will be further delayed, which I think we had rumors, right? We've had rumors about that. But when it does arrive, it will be awesome. I think part of the... I'm trying to write and talk at the same time. I think what has happened and what we're seeing is that Nintendo is getting a lot of feedback from people. They put out that Splatoon thing, and it was not great, right? Like the feedback was terrible, frankly. And I think that anybody who, what they don't want is to have this be totally a terrible service that is not worth paying for. And so they are really taking their time to make sure that they do it well, that they test it enough, that it's going to hold up to scrutiny, and that it's going to be great when it's launched. Maybe awesome is too strong a word, but it will be satisfactory. Is maybe the word, where it will do the job it's supposed to do.
I took a quick downshift.
That is, yeah, I know. I talked myself out of it. But it will do what it's supposed to do in a way that is not clunky and cumbersome. This probably means either that the Switch will have a headphone jack, that turns out it does have a headphone jack that you can just use a headset in, or they will release something that you can use a headset with your Switch, that they're going to abandon the whole freaking voice chat app thing. And there's still other reasons to use this app, like the buying gear in Splatoon, I think is actually still a great idea. And you'll still be able to use the Switch if you want as a voice chat app, but I don't think that they're going to require it as the only method. So
I think it's great as a companion app.
Yeah.
Like the Splatoon thing. Or, maybe if it was a companion app if they updated it to be a part of other games, like if I could use it with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and check my stats, or, I'm kind of ambivalent to it on that end, but look for ways that it can partner with games that already exist and do something there. With Splatoon, it's, or maybe like with ARMS, it could be like a way to get more arms or to get coins to use in the arm, the arm getter or whatever.
Yeah, but play like a little.
As it is right now, it's non-functional at best.
Yeah, agreed. Jesse, what about you, man? What's your next prediction?
Okay, I think for the fourth consecutive year, making this prediction.
Okay.
When they do finally do something with Virtual Console, we'll see Mother 3.
Yes.
It's coming. I'm sorry.
Here's what I want for Mother 3. I just want them to release it so everyone stops whining about Mother 3.
So good.
Because it is like it's like right before every direct. This is the one they're going to talk about. Mother 3. The direct never it doesn't happen. They're like, oh.
I have said this before. Mother 3 is my favorite RPG of all time. I've played the just like specifically from like the story and the characters. It is absolutely. I played through the English translation. It is my favorite RPG of all time, and I really, really hope that everybody gets the chance to do it. I don't even care if they do like a. I think that if they were to do it, they should just do like a. I don't know if they would do this or not, but they could even get away with doing an Earthbound collection, and they put Earthbound Beginnings, Earthbound, and Earthbound. I don't know, fusion. I don't know what you'd call it.
At this stage, they should just call it Mother 3. We know what it is.
Yeah.
Can I make a caveat to Jesse's request? Can we put in the docket, because I know it's a wild card? Can we say if that actually comes out, the man gets 4 extra bonus points? Just for the fact
one for each consecutive year,
towing that line for 4 years straight,
holding out hope.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
So I think this is the first year I didn't say anything about retro in any of my predictions.
Yeah. Well, that's right. All right. Marty, do you want to? Have you thought of anything? We're going back. No, it's okay. I don't want to.
No, I don't. I did. I had 6 predictions.
These are all just like these. None of these count for points except for Jesse's crazy, getting vengeance for vindication, I should say.
I do have one. I do have one actually. I think that we will see, and this is, it's not next year, but we could begin to see some of this happen. I think we're already beginning to see some of this happen. That Shigeru Miyamoto will move on from a game developer role to a larger overall role at Nintendo, thereby passing the torch to the next generation.
So in other words, he's finally getting out of the way.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
Ooh, shots fired.
I mean, it's happening. It's happening already. You see hints of it in articles, but I think sometime in the next 5 years, there's really going to be a move away from game development when it comes to his role at Nintendo.
Well, think about it. Even I think that the argument could be made that's happening this year. Like, did we really see him talking about, like, when they were talking about Mario Odyssey? He was not really a part of the advertising for that or any of the sort of the PR.
That's true.
The only one that he did any advertising for was Mario Odyssey in 2017 at the Jimmy Fallon stuff when he was doing Mario Run. And then the only other one after that was when they rolled him out for Mario and Rabbids.
Right. Yeah. So he's like, they'll bring him out whenever it's like, hey, and I like how we were talking about him, like he's like in this wheelchair or whatever.
They wheel him out. Yeah.
Right. But like, and he's definitely like, he's a visionary, like he's had it all there. But
yeah, and I guess like that like is where I kind of see like a more umbrella type of, here's Miyamoto and he's the director of game development. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean they already changed his title, right? He's like a senior creative fellow or something like that.
Yeah, he's basically the software guy.
Yeah, he's the Eddie Hughes to the Johnny Ive.
Yeah, there you go. That's true. So
but I'm like, I guess that part of my prediction, and maybe I'm not verbalizing this, is that not only will we see him in name pull back, but we'll see some of his influence pull back as well. Mm-hmm. Like as far as, like when he was in charge of things, those kind of games went a certain way, but as he kind of departs and moves on toward a different role, we start to see series embark on different, and we've already seen this, like with Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, that they continue to branch out into paths that they haven't, in areas that they haven't traversed yet.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, he's really like, he's almost falling into the sort of, at least publicly, he's kind of like he's Nintendo's Stan Lee, where whenever it's cool to like break Stan Lee out, to like, hey, remember Stan Lee? Yay, nostalgia. And then,
hey, true believers.
Yeah, and then he just like walks off the screen, and that's basically how they treat Miyamoto at this
So
point.
are we going to have a Miyamoto cameo in every game?
Oh, dude, that'd be amazing. Let's do it. Nintendo, do it. Right on. Justin, was that? Yeah, Justin.
I'm it. I'm done.
You're done? All right.
Done.
Let's see. Let me check my list real quick. This is a stupid prediction. So I'm going to make a prediction. We have seen Amiibo in Justin, your prediction made me think of this. So we've seen Amiibo figures, we've seen Amiibo cards, we've seen Amiibo cereal boxes this year. I think
I haven't seen one yet.
Yeah, well, there you go. We are going to see Amiibo wearables come out this year, which is this is a stupid prediction. Whether that's like key rings or bracelets or something stupid like that, there will be Amiibo wearables in some form. And wearables just meaning like another, when I say that, I mainly mean more of just like another form of Amiibo that's out there in a small form that is easy to take with you, that's cool to show off to friends. I think maybe a keychain is actually, maybe sort of more of in the spirit of what I'm talking about. And I realize that's not technically wearable on your body, but you would carry it with you or something. So I don't know, something stupid like that. Amiibo wearables. That's really dumb, but I don't know. Would you guys buy an Amiibo keychain if it was like, hey, this is an Amiibo?
No.
You wouldn't do it?
Depending on what it is.
Okay. So that's my prediction. Jesse.
Okay, I think I have two more small ones here. I said there will be no handheld replacement to the 3DS other than the Switch. So the Switch will be officially declared the successor to both the Wii U and 3DS.
Nice. Right on. Switch is king, y'all. Right on. Very cool. I like it.
Right. So then my last one, if you don't have any more.
I don't have any more.
Okay, I said we'll see at least 2 new mobile games this year, one of which will be Zelda themed in some way. That one's kind of I think a gimme, so that's why I didn't use it.
Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting, right? Because they came out with 2 last year and they want to do at least 2 this year. I think they said that right somewhere. Anyway, yeah, that's interesting and tricky. I don't know how we're gonna do, but right on. Any final bits here? We have some from Twitter, right?
Right. Yeah, I have got those up and available.
All right. So have at her.
So I put up basically saying, what are your predictions in 2018? And here are replies we got. So Extra Life Mikey, or Mikey BC, says he wants the Virtual Console on the Switch, Mother 3, Mario Party 11, Pikmin 4 with online bingo battle, Animal Crossing Switch, Smash Port, Mario Maker Switch, and then he says, and now to manage expectations. Metroid Prime 4 for holiday time, DLC for 2017 games, and more indies than we can ever handle. So yeah, Mikey, well done on that one. Or Mike PC, well done on that one.
He just wants everything.
Yeah, Pikmin D says, I'm predicting Nintendo will finally launch an achievement and trophies, as well as the ability to compare those with friends, probably through Switch app functionality. That's actually a really great point. Also, Nintendo will return to the quality of life with a new Switch Fit game to extend the Wii Fit series. That's interesting. Okay,
I'm
very cool.
I'm not standing on my Switch to weigh myself.
Yeah, that's fair enough, though. I do like he makes a great point about the trophies and achievements, and that could be somehow tied into the app. That's actually a really good use of that, possibly.
Here's what I want if that's the case. Don't freaking make your own little dongle thing. I have an Apple Watch. Just make something that talks to the Switch app that also talks to my Apple Watch, that like gets that info. You know what I mean? Just take that info straight from the iOS platform and give me cool ways of incorporating that data into whatever, right? Like, I don't need another thing that I'm carrying around with me tracking my activity.
Yeah, or lack of, right? So I said to someone recently, I said, Mario Run would have been a lot funner if you actually had to run. Mikey Burgett says, by the end of 2018, the Switch will have will have sold double what the Wii U did in its lifetime. And Mikey, I think you're actually probably onto something there. I think it's tracking pretty well that potentially by the end of 2018, we will have passed that number. So again, that number, guys, approximately is going to be between 26 to 28 million for the lifetime. So
it's pretty on track. Yeah,
pretty much on track. John Blanco says, predicting will happen. Animal Crossing for the Switch, Bravely Default Switchology, I guess, all of them. And then he said, I played Celeste for 2 months straight without showering. Cool.
That's just a prediction.
He says I play Celeste for 2 months straight without showering.
I forget where I hear this and which region it is, but apparently there was a Nintendo of whatever region, holiday, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas type of thing, that had artwork from the Bravely series holding Joy-Con.
Correct. Yeah, and I think that's where he's calling that from. Yeah. Now, so that was what he. So that's what he said. Predicting will happen. What he wants to happen or wishing to happen is Earthbound Physical Edition, Switch Prime, Metroid Prime trilogy or Switchology, as he's calling it. And he says Bayonetta 3, then 4, 5, and 6 and 7 announced is what he's hoping for. Space Rocket Pirate says Advanced Wars, please. Andrea, I think, says for my predictions that are just as for actual predictions that are not just simple facts, Animal Crossing Switch releases, Smash 4 releases, Fire Emblem Switch will have children and Avatar, and Switch will outsell lifetime sales of GameCube at 21.7 million and N64 of 32 million, and Dragon Quest 11 will be released in the West. And then he says the 3DS won't go away no matter how much you all want it to.
3DS go away.
Didn't call that specifically out to specifically to Zach, but I am.
Get it out.
So those are predictions. Anything else? Is anything in the chat, Jesse, that we should pull out?
I predict none of our predictions will pan out from Silver Mystery. Let's see what else has been said.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
There was some Kylo Ren references. I'm not exactly sure what. Someone said a port of Twilight Princess. We just had one, so I'm not sure if we'll have another one.
Not happening.
I don't think that's happening. Any other franchises that we haven't talked about that we think is going to be on there, or
Pikmin 4 is something we didn't talk about, and I think I want that.
Yeah, Pikmin 4. I think. How do we feel about Mario Maker? Is that a likely one or no?
I think eventually. I'm not sure about this year though.
Yeah. Or Zelda Maker.
I would like that too.
Zelda Maker. You know what? I've been thinking about that. Zelda Maker, I think, is way more complicated.
It would be.
It would be way more complicated, and it's way harder to get approachable.
Yeah, which means it'll be more crap than good.
Yeah, it'll be a lot
even worse than what Mario Maker ended up.
Yeah, which was not great. That's right. I said it. Mario Maker was not as good as everybody wanted it to.
And Paul Lloyd can send
I'm saying the game was fine. It was just the people's puzzles were bad.
Yeah. Oh, it was not as good of an experience, I guess.
Okay,
I think what you're referring to, Zach, actually is that not everyone knows exactly what to do with the Mario series like everybody says they do.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if I was Nintendo, I would make a really crappy level with 100 Bowsers. Okay, great. Let's move on.
Stacking onto each other. Yeah, exactly.
All with bullet bills.
Here's another one from chat. Virtual Console will finally be released. However, Skynet will take over, making that point moot.
Yeah, either that or we'll all be dead in nuclear winter. So that's another possibility.
Well, yeah. There's a happy New Year's thought for everybody.
There you go. You're welcome. All right. Any final thoughts or things before? I think we're going to skip emails tonight.
Yeah, emails and what we've been playing we need to skip because we're almost at 2.5 hours.
We're like 2 hours and 10 minutes right now. Yeah, so we're good. Any thoughts, Justin, as we kind of round out the show here, or Marty, either one of you, I don't care. Fight over it. What do we got coming up?
Well, we
fight for my love.
We're going to record Metroid Prime Retro Rewind sometime in the month of January, as well as we're happy to announce that we have a new game for our Retro Rewind show that's coming up soon. You voted, we listened, we put up 2 games against each other in the month of December and waited until the very end of the month to figure those out. And I'm actually going right now to get the total of the vote. It was a huge turnout for votes here on Patreon. As you can tell, I'm stalling because I closed it.
While you're doing that, what I'll do is I'll encourage people, if you guys have not had an opportunity yet, head over to our YouTube channel. So search YouTube Nintendo Dads. We are putting up almost daily videos now of content we've been creating, whether it's Let's Plays of Yooka-Laylee, whether it's my top 3 predictions or resolutions that Nintendo has to do in 2018. Marty put up The End Is Nigh Let's Play as well. We got unboxings up there, with this podcast is up there. If you haven't, guys, head over to youtube.com/NintendoDads. There's a ton of content. Please hit that subscribe button, even notifies, and make sure you get a lot of stuff. Because obviously the podcast has a lot, but we're supplementing a lot of extra content. So these podcasts aren't 5 hours long, and putting content there for you to have access to as well. So make sure you check that one out. Marty, what's the vote at?
So the vote is sitting right now at a straight 40-60 split. As you remember, we were voting between Star Fox 2 and Final Fantasy 3. The winner and Retro Rewind game for February of 2018 is Final Fantasy 3, or 6, if you like to call it that, by its Japanese name.
That's the only way to call it that.
6 if you're fancy.
6 if you're fancy, 3 if you're just North American and you didn't get all the other games.
The Final Fantasy?
Yep.
Yeah. So
that's hard to say.
The last good one.
Nintendo Classic, or download this. I think it's on the Wii U, maybe.
I don't know if it is. I think it's sure on the Super Nintendo Classic, which is why.
I don't think it's on the Wii U. It is still on Wii Shop, which you still have time to buy it there if you have to do it that way.
Right. And just go ahead and begin working your way through that game, and we'll get to that in February. And good stuff.
And it is a shorter RPG compared to the RPGs of modern day. It's I think it's around 35 to 40 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
It's not a Xenoblade
Great
Chronicles.
Story.
It's not a Persona.
It's good stuff. You'll if you've never gone through it, you'll definitely enjoy it, I think.
Mm-hmm. Right on. Awesome. As well, I'm just gonna pull up is this list of Patreon producers? Is this accurate as we round out the show?
We have 2 Patreon producers right now. I know that for sure we have Dave Ernsberger, who has been a longtime Patreon producer. Also, brand new Patreon producer here in the last couple of months, or in the last month, and that is Chris Mears. And we're thankful for you guys.
Absolutely. Right on. Well, as we round out the show, I'm going to turn this on. There we go. So I think that's it. 2018 lies before us. My prediction is that by the time you hear the next episode, half these predictions will be wrong because we'll have a direct behind us. So look forward to that. Right on. And of course, if you want to follow us, again, huge thanks to our Patreon producers, by the way, to Dave as well as to Chris. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much and to all of our Patreon people. Go to patreon.com/NintendoDads. Even $1 a month, guys, is all you got to do. Go over there, give us some love. You guys are amazing. Or just share this on all the things. You guys are amazing.
All the things.
All the things. If you want to follow us on all the things, Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram at Nintendo Dads. If you want to email us, nintendodads@gmail.com. If you want to watch our faces or our videos or whatever, you can go to Twitch or YouTube. Look for Nintendo Dads and you will find us. If you want to call in and leave us a voicemail, 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. Huge thanks to OC Remix for our music throughout the show, as well as to both Carter Johnson and Adam Leonard from Megadads for their amazing artwork. And of course, if you want to change the world, which I know that you do, go to iTunes, Apple Music, whatever they call themselves these days. Leave us a 5-star review. Written reviews are even better. And if you want to subscribe, go to Apple, whatever, Stitcher, Google Play, and of course, VGTribune.com. For me, for Justin, for Jesse, and for Marty. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
Wobble Puffet? Wobble Buffet?
It's been a long